Welcome sports fans, welcome back. I'm Joe Mar.
I'm Rush.
And this is This or That Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most riveting and interesting sports topics and debate on the internet.
Yeah, so today we're going to be, well, first of all, let's intro the video properly. This is our 5th episode.
Number 5.
Yeah, of Keeping Up with the Reggae Boys.
Keeping Up with the Reggae Boys.
And today we'll be talking about, some problems in the camp. Jamaica men's national team camp. We're hearing some of the rumblings and we're going to talk about it today. Let us know what you guys think. And first, before we even get into the discussion, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We really appreciate it, guys. And leave a comment. That's all we ask.
Road to 500, right? Quick, get us there, guys. What, 18 more subs to go?
Yeah.
18 more subscribers to 500, guys, in less than 2 months, guys. Get us there, please, before the year done.
Alright, then. So, what's going on in the camp?
Alright, essentially, bro, it seems that there is trouble in paradise, as per usual with the Jamaica national team. I'm not sure, because I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, I know about every single federation and how they function. But Jamaica has to be one of the most dysfunctional FAs in world football.
Crazy.
Has to be.
Crazy.
There is never not an issue in Jamaican football as it relates to the administration.
We're a mess.
I'm tired of it, bro.
We are a mess. And it even not going to the football now.
I'm tired.
It's been in the football.
It's been in the football.
But we are a mess from top to bottom, bro.
So, as you guys would have already known, the rift between the JFF and the Reggae Boys as it relates to contract negotiations. The rift between the coaching staff and the JFF delegation as it relates to resources, so on and so forth. And now, it seems that we have yet another rift. And this time it's between some players in the national pool, and not only in the national pool, but specifically to the most recent national squads. Some key players are mutinizing or are standing up against the hiring of the new head coach.
I don't think so much it's about the hiring of Paul Hall, I think it's about the firing of Theodore Whitmore.
Yeah, so what it seems like is that there is a group of players who are against the disposition of Theodore Whitmore and the appointment of Paul Hall.
Yeah.
And it seems as though we are seeing the ripple effects of this mutiny in the Peru call-up.
Yeah.
As eligible players or players who are available, I should say available players, are falling like flies and are refusing the call-up. And it is rumored that the reason they're refusing this call-up is because of the firing of Theodore Whitmore.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is, I don't want us to get too much into this. I don't want us to speak too much on this specific topic, but I'm going to mention it a little bit. We know of some internal issues that have been happening in the camp. We know that our team is not together. Just because we are now in the industry and we get a little bit more information than the average watcher.
Yeah.
So we know that there are problems in the camp, but now we're between player and player. Players and players, that there are cliques in the squad. We're even seeing it with our own eyes.
Yeah, like it's evident. Even in the pre-game warm-ups, you can see various players.
No, it's players versus coach. We will never win. We'll never. If this is what is going on, we're not going to the World Cup. For sure, we're not going to the World Cup. And it breaks my heart. But if this is actually true, and I'm leading to believe that this is true, we're not going to the World Cup.
Because popular Jamaican sports YouTuber Ryan LFC, somebody that we pay keen attention to, right? It's breaking. He broke it yesterday, I think, that there are a group of 9 players, 9 key Jamaican-born players who are in opposition of the appointment of Paul Hall and the firing of Theodore Whitmore. I'm compelled to believe that a few of these players are Andre Blake, Damian Lowe, so on and so forth.
Listen, I don't want us to speculate. I don't want us to call names and speculate at this point. If we're sure, I'd have no problem calling names because the country is bigger than any player. First of all, I don't even know how these players get this leverage to be holding the program hostage because they like a specific person in charge. What? So I don't want us to call any names just yet.
After them on the
but this is pathetic. But I don't like it. Where did this leverage come from? I know they gained some leverage in the contract negotiations.
No, but they gained leverage in the contract. They exercised their leverage in the contract negotiations.
That means they had it before the contract negotiations.
Yeah. So no, I think they're taking advantage of the situation. And me and Rush would have spoken about the whole contract saga, and he was he kind of disagreed with me because I was of the belief, and guys, please don't come at me for this because this is a very unpopular opinion that I will express right now. I believe that these players make their living off their domestic football, right? So Damian Lowe playing in Egypt, Liam Bale playing in England, Andre Blake playing in America, right? Those are 3 different domestic leagues, and they are aptly compensated for their craft. Yeah. So the money they get when playing for Jamaica is not anything comparable to what they do get domestically on a weekly basis. Which is why I was always of the belief that yes, it is important for the players to get compensated for playing for the country. However, I do believe that international football though is about pride, it's about nation. So I wish that they wouldn't have gone to the extent that they went to through those negotiations, but I guess they knew that they have leverage.
Bro, listen. You know you don't curse on the channel, but dumb goes downstream. I think these guys are behaving this way because of what they've seen upstairs. They know that the administrative side of the JFF is a mess. They know that the coaching staff is a mess. They know that JFF is a party shop. They know that Theodore Whitmore is no coach. So if we want to misbehave, why we can't misbehave? If we want to hold the JFF hostage for some money, why we can't do it? Our sister only can't even run in the shop properly. You know, I say, on the contract negotiations, I was like, if you promise the guys this money, give them their money. If you promise a negotiation, have a negotiation. It's not even so much of the money or they want to. No, have a negotiation. Don't tell them, say, this is what we're giving, take it or leave it. You say you do a negotiation, do a negotiation. But no, this is out of bounds from the board.
Yeah, and I think it's very, very bad form because you don't determine who you play for. You don't determine your head coach. Your job is to go and put out your best performance for whoever is appointed to lead the group of individuals. Yes, if you are playing for a coach and you don't like his style, you can speak out against it.
There is a national team and you not get selected, you know. If you don't like the style, you don't play in the style, you will not be selected. So this is only because Theodore will have favorites, bro. This is the only reason why this is going on.
And guys, and I think without even saying it's speculation, I think these players who are currently in opposition of the new coaching staff, I think those people would have been who would have considered Theodore Whitmore's favorites.
And we could speculate and call names, and I'm sure we'll be spot on for 7 of the 9 or 5 of the 9. Yeah. But I don't want to see that. I'm very upset at this, you know, because we're going to World Cup with something, the good that will do for Jamaica. Just think about and let's talk about the day, the famous day. We had no murders in Jamaica. Yeah. That was the only day
since independence.
The day we qualified for the World Cup. Mm-hmm. Just imagine what that would do in 2022 if Jamaica qualified for the World Cup. And them money I tell me say because them like a coach, them are go not play for the team or
they're willing to shoot the team in the leg.
So the country in the leg is me I want to put it.
Yeah, and I'm saying fine if Paul Hall's appointment is a bad one and he's not the coach that can carry us to the World Cup. Fine, we'll have played our hardest.
And we will find that out.
We'll have played our hardest and we just wouldn't qualify. We're
clapping a good game ball and move on.
But imagine if those guys were to be like, oh, we're just not going to play because Theodore Whitmore is not our coach. What
even makes sense? Like it even makes sense. And these local band players, just a message to you guys. If you see it, brother, this is not about any player, this is not about any coach. It's about Jamaica.
I can go as far as say it's not about Michael Antonio, it's not about Andre Blake.
It's not about any of these guys. We want to put a team together to make it to the World Cup. It's about Jamaica.
That's all.
This is about wearing that jersey. This is about flying that flag very high.
And hearing that anthem before the game.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. The pride that we saw, last year, this year when we was watching, Ilian Thompson and the pride that I had. We were in America and being at Jamaica, we were so proud.
For sure.
Thinking about the times when we were watching Usain Bolt perform for Jamaica. Every time we Bailey score a goal.
Like imagine playing in the first round of the World Cup and you hear Eternal Father as we go across and to shake the other team hands or the other team come across and shake our hands.
Give them a message. Give them all of them a message and we just close. Because we don't want to go too far.
Alright, so demand them, whoever is involved, the local players or the international based players who are not standing behind the coach and standing behind our program. Get in the act together. because now is the most important time of your guys' football career. And I'm talking about big contracts in the future, moves to Europe, moves to the MLS from the USL, moves to the Premier League if you're in the Championship. This is the platform that you guys need to elevate yourself. Don't waste it because of pettiness and foolishness, guys. Let's just come together in the new year, play some football, get some points on the board, get to the playoffs, beat New Zealand and go to the World Cup. Stop messing around with the program. Go to Peru, get some reps in the team, come back to the stadium, beat Mexico, and let's just try. Put the foolishness to the side.
What I have to say is, guys, if you're seeing this video, there are people in this country that love you guys. Like, there are fans that go to the National Stadium or went to the National Stadium for the last game to see Kemar Lawrence.
Yeah, for sure. I'm big Kemar Lawrence fan right here.
There are fans and patrons that went to the stadium to see Andre Blake. I went to the stadium to see Liam Bailey and Antonio. Like, people love you, and you're going to hold the program hostage because of one man. Just think about it.
Anyways, guys, on that note, we're gonna close it out now.
Yeah, man.
See, like, it's not even, like, I'm so serious right now, but these are gonna be the gimmicks at the end of the video, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning into This or That Sports League.